episode of Dark Rhino's Security Confidential. Today we have a very special guest. Mia Landsem joins us. Mia is one of the nominees this year for Cybersecurity Women of the Year. She's an honest-to-God celebrity in her homeland. She has written a best-selling children's book. She is a cybersecurity practitioner, and she has taken up some very noble causes, including getting the laws changed in her home country and getting the law enforcement much more engaged with cyber law enforcement, especially when it comes to minors. And she's kind enough to join us today, and we are honored to have her here. Thank you, Mia, for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Prior to the show, for our listeners, you'd say we had a little discussion, and Mia has done some very serious work, and I think, Mia, it would be good to get our listeners a little bit of the beginning. Like, how did you get engaged with cybersecurity? What was your journey into this arena of cyber, and then to the nomination for the Cybersecurity Woman of the Year award?
So yeah, my way into security is a bit bumpy, I guess. I've always loved video games, so I started loving computers and like PlayStation and Nintendos and stuff when I was really young. I always liked to play with my cousin and stuff like that. So I always loved computers, but then it was the security part of it. I got interested in that. I don't really know when. I was maybe 10
Okay.
when I started thinking about security, because I was hearing about people getting hacked or losing their gaming accounts, and I really did not want that to happen. It never happened to me. I'm very glad. But my friends started to get their accounts hacked and stuff, so that was like the first time I've ever thought about that. Um, then I continued this gaming stuff for a while and actually made some money by streaming gaming and went to like gaming cons and stuff like that and really enjoyed it and getting interested in how to build the computers to have the best computer possible for my games, of course. And through that arena, I got friends that went to like IT school or who was into hacking and stuff like that. So I got like introduced to it when I was maybe, yeah, 13, I guess,
Okay.
13 and 14. And I started just to look at stuff. I found it fun to solve puzzles and do small hacky things, but I wasn't really good at it, really. And then I was a taekwondo specialist, so I was on the
Really?
national team in taekwondo and spent my spare time just playing games because I was really tired. I was training a lot, so I did not always have the time to go out or energy to go out with
So,
friends.
so were you trying out for the Olympic team from Norway?
Yeah, actually, my plan was 2020, but I damaged my knee a lot. So I don't know if I'll be able to kick again. I've
Oh,
had
I'm
4 years
sorry to
of
hear that.
injury, but I really wanted to pursue that Olympic dream, and I went to the Norwegian School of Sports Sciences to learn more about sport and to like just work out all the time. So I was doing that a lot, and since I was so tired, I did not have the time to meet my friends, and I didn't get to drink or party like everyone else. So it got kind of lonely, you know. I couldn't drink or party, and everyone was partying. So I just was playing games and having friends in the gaming world, really. Uh, yeah.
Are there learnings that you took away as an athlete, as someone that was training, that you have applied to the world of cybersecurity?
Well, yeah, I am a fighter. I was a martial artist, so I am a fighter for sure. I really got into the world of cyber when my ex-boyfriend took a picture of me without me knowing, and when I broke up with him, yeah, he
Okay.
placed it all over internet. He sent it to someone who hated me and told them to send it everywhere. So I really got to feel not just online bullying, but like harassment and blackmailing. people trying to threaten me and my family, and it was just everywhere, everywhere at school, everywhere on the internet, Pornhub, porn sites. I was getting nasty messages like all the time. So I did not find the internet funny anymore. I started to really see the security part of it. So I think the way I've been training my head for so long that I think if I did not have that, I wouldn't be here anymore. I got really depressed and suicidal after my pictures
Oh my.
or my picture got out. But I think that I really had this tough head, mentally tough head, after years of training in the martial arts, that I survived. But I started to get really angry, right? So I'm a fighter, and the thing about sports and cybersecurity is the tactics and techniques. I'm used to spending hours a day just to do one special technique, this one kick, right? And just look at it and
Yeah.
break it into pieces and see and record it. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why is my foot not going higher? Why did I not hit that person? What did I do wrong? So it's kind of the same thing, and it made me maybe do the same thing in the cybersecurity world. So when my picture got out, I didn't just like cry and give up. I started to figure out what kind of pages these pictures was saved on. Okay, what is this page and how does it work and how can we take it down? I started to look at takedowns for pictures. Um, yeah, just nerding myself
S-
into the situation, really.
So Mia, if you mentioned many serious things there,
Yeah.
but what one of the things that I'd love for you to address to our audience, a lot are very young people, is bullying and getting these pictures out, and anything like this happens, some horrible event. What should an individual do? Because we do hear a lot of young people, uh, depression. They suffer from mental illnesses, and in the
Mm.
worst cases, they lose their lives, and nothing is worth the loss of one's life, right?
Yeah.
So, how would you advise them? What would you say to them to say how should they address it? Any thoughts?
Well, it's really hard when someone does that to you, especially when it's your own like boyfriend and stuff. It's it's heartbreaking, and you really need to stay calm and just try to focus on collecting the evidence. And that's also what I did. Took taking all the screenshots, saving the pages that posted me, saving the image URLs, everything, just saving everything. I'm really happy that I have a cold head or a cool head because of my sports experience. Because you might do some mistakes when you're desperate after getting those pictures removed, or go into like a state of crisis. You really have to stay calm and just collect everything you can with the evidence, and then you
Uh,
really have to talk to someone. That's my biggest regret, that I did not talk to anyone. I was a anxious child and I had a lot of bullying, so I did not really have anyone to tell this to. I figured I'd solve it myself. I think my head would be better if I spoke to someone early. I had Over time I had some friends to talk to, and I ultimately reported the crime to the police after several years because I was scared, and I really regret that. I should have gone there at that time.
let's chat about that for a second. Now, when you went to the police, what was their reaction to this?
Mm, The police reaction, I don't know, I was really shocked because they did not know too much about this. They were asking me a bunch of stuff, of course, if I had taken those pictures, and I said, of course I didn't take those pictures. You see both my hands in the picture. He took it. So it was. it was kind of scary. I sat there with a male older than myself. He was nice though. I've heard some stories about people having real bad experiences. So he was really nice. But he did not know what I was talking about, and I felt like talking to a wall, kinda, even though he was nice. And it took a lot of time before anyone did anything. I didn't hear anything for a while, and I had all the evidence. You know, I had my ex-boyfriend that said, "I'm really sorry I did this to you, and I really regret that, and I'm ready to." Um, what is it called? Like, I'm ready to take my punishment. So I had everything. I had a screenshot of him sharing it, the text, everything. And then, like, after many months, they just closed the case without
Just
doing,
closed it without
yeah,
doing anything.
no, nothing.
So are the laws in Norway not are they in what was the situation where the laws just didn't exist for them to enforce, or they were choosing not to enforce the law?
There wasn't any laws that was talking about image abuse, but there is like a privacy concern, uh, harassment and stuff. So it usually went under that kind of laws for harassment or the privacy. And also you have I don't really know how to translate that, but it's like sexual harassment
Yeah.
crimes. So it went under that sexual harassment crimes. But we did have a law that was about children under the age of 18 that was images that sexualizes children, and that means everyone under 18 years old. So after being so heartbroken about my case being closed, I started studying the law, and I did see that they had placed it under sexual harassment for grown-ups. At the time, I was like 18, and I was like 19 before I reported the crime. But in that picture, I was like 17 or 16, I think, 16, 17. That means that this picture was a picture sexualizing a minor or a child, actually, in Norwegian laws. And the reason that they closed my case was that they said I had spent too much time before reporting the crime. So
Um,
for the sexual like harassment laws, you have 1 year to
okay.
report a crime, but for the pictures of a minor or child, it's three. At this point, I knew about the pictures 1 year after he had shared it. It was really slow in the beginning, and then just exploding with me being on television and stuff for something. Um, so actually, I had 3 years, and that's what I figured out. They had placed me under the adult class with
Okay.
1 year to report, and I reported after maybe 2.5 years. So I
And
figured
for
out and I called them, and I was kind of pissed actually, and I said like I was a minor, and these are the correct laws, and this lady was yelling at me in the phone.
really,
She was yelling.
she was a police person.
Yeah, she is actually like an not an attorney, like police attorney.
Okay, a prosecutor.
Yeah, the woman who closed the case, and she is a really known woman in these kind of sexual cases. And she yelled at me, and I just wrote my own letter to the police complaining about them closing the case and what was the correct law. And then it went, yeah, this was a year and a half maybe after I first reported the crime. No one has reached out to me, and no one asked me if I needed help or anything. And then I just got a letter that he had to pay a 500 euro fee for ruining my life. 500 euros was the price of sexually harassing me and destroying me. And then I saw again they had placed it under the wrong laws. They had placed it under
Okay.
pornography. I'm not a porn star. And that's when I really got pissed off, because the way that I got to know that my pictures was out there was when I was 18 and took my first beer outside in a bar.
Oh,
Um, and then I saw some boys laughing at me, and I went there. I'm like, "What's your problem?" And they're like, "You're that porn star, aren't you?" So both those boys called me a porn star. I was on Pornhub, porn sites, and then the police actually call it pornography. It is not pornography to have a sexualized picture of a child. And I complained again, and they say, yeah, you cannot complain anything more now. I did not
Really?
get any cash, nothing, no help, no information, no help to remove my picture. I spent 1.5 year of my life to just for my ex to pay €500. It's so
And then they didn't. Did they end up opening up the case again? Then
yeah,
Mia.
that's what they did when he got because they accepted that yeah we did something wrong, but then they placed it on the pornography. So it's just a mess, and that's when I got really pissed off. And I started helping other people in the same situation. I think that was kind of therapy for me. That's when I really started to enter the world of cyber, when finding ways to find my pictures, reverse like a reverse image search. I just really spent all night finding my pictures, and then when I would find my pictures, I would find anyone else's too, like women that I knew from my hometown, and I just got so obsessed with helping everyone. I didn't have a good time, and I figured helping others too, so they would not know about this at the first time by being called porn stars in bars. I really wanted them to hear it from me in a respective and a kind way, instead of getting nasty messages like I did, because that's like a big shock. So I just started telling people that your pictures are out and this is what you should do.
So you're taking your skills now as a cyber professional and looking at helping other people who have
Yeah.
had image abuse
I've helped
happen.
thousands of victims throughout these years, at the same time studying. So I helped this world handball star, and she was just like me. She was a sports star. She's the world's best handball player, Nora Mörk, and she decided to help out. So I helped her when her pictures got out, and she actually brought this to the media, and she knew that by telling media about this, because this have happened to a lot of celebrities in Norway, but no one wants to talk about it. Like everyone knows, but it's not everywhere. She knew that that picture would be everywhere, and she's like the world's best handball player, so it would go worldwide. So
Yeah.
she made this sacrifice to help me and everyone else to make people aware of this happening, because I did not go to the media. I did not tell anyone about the work that I did. um, and then she just went to the biggest newspapers and television shows in Norway, just speaking her case, speaking for the victims, and doing such a good job. And she name dropped me, and I got some
Okay.
interviews, and I thought, okay, this will last some weeks and then it will be over. But now, like 3 years, it's been 3 years, almost 4 years, and it's not stopping. I got
Yeah, and you've lectured at 300 schools, over 300 schools as well, right?
yeah. I've lectured everywhere in Norway. I've written a children's book, as you mentioned. She really gave me these opportunities, and the media gave me the opportunity to actually make a real change, not just helping, because I was exhausted by helping everyone alone. And after the media explosion, I was getting like 30 messages a day, and I was still in my second year of sports sciences school, and just started. I stopped sleeping. I really wanted to fight this cause, so that's when I decided to quit my bachelor, the third year. I
Okay.
just quit, and I started on network and IT security school here in Norway, because I really wanted to learn more. Because I wasn't confident in my technical skills. I just knew like basic tips and tricks, and I really wanted to help even more and make a change in this world. And of course, I didn't believe it at first, but now it's like it's actually happening. I was like a celebrity overnight. I got to go to these TV shows. I got to write for the newspapers about what I wanted. People stopped asking like the old men for IT stuff. They started asking me. So I really wanted to learn more and just use my skills, and it worked out pretty well.
Now, and you must have faced some backlash from
Mm,
people as well.
yeah,
I would imagine.
yeah. I live in a secret address. I have a lot of mails that really hates me, spreading fake rumors about me, harassing me, stalking me, um, death threats. It's been really hard, but you kind of get used to it. Um, I'm really anxious, like when walking outside, and yeah, I still struggle with a lot of it because it's been like a lot, like grown up men stalking me at night, someone editing pictures of me being killed,
Oh my,
threatening with weapons on my shows,
can't
on
imagine.
my talks, calling me a Nazi feminist. I'm helping both women and men, so I don't really get why all men are so focused on this Nazi feminism stuff. I think it's really bad because feminism is a really good thing, and I'm not really talking about feminism like ever. I'm just helping out, and it seems that so many men are calling all women Nazi feminists when they are just talking about something important. And if you're a woman and you talk about something and you get attention for it, then you're a Nazi feminist. It's really weird, and I'm really scared about that internet culture. I think it's really damaging and scary. It's like a cult. Um,
It, it is, and I can only imagine getting an onslaught of such harsh messaging. I actually can't imagine. I have never been the
yeah.
victim of that, but
And it's not only messages,
I,
people follow me in the streets, they use knives, they are harassing my family, video recording them. I had to quit my job when I was studying because they were entering the shop all the time, screaming and recording me. It's really psycho. Um,
it's. But you were successful in spite of all this in getting some laws changed.
yeah, I did. We got new laws in July this year after.
Well, congratulations on that effort. That takes,
Thanks.
yeah. So what
It
were
was
they? Can
cool.
you, yeah, give us a little color to
So
that?
now it's not just like sexual harassment. These are laws that actually mention pictures, that image abuse. It actually it's kind of all it's the same rules, but they're rewritten so people really understand that these kind of things are illegal. I'm still not quite happy with the new laws because it's under the same paragraph as, if I was recording you falling and posting it and you were humiliated, it's the same law.
So
I don't
they
like that.
didn't give it the gravity of what because that's a personal violation, right?
Yeah,
It's a huge personal violation
yeah.
of yourself,
This
your
is the
body, or
sexual violation, and like videoing someone falling and the typical
yeah.
funny videos around. That's not the same thing. So that's like another story. But I think it's really good that we actually have it written down now. So now I'll work to get this into its own laws, and I doubt that will happen. But it's a step in the right direction, and also a positive thing is that it gives the victims. The possibility to get some money. I don't know the English word when you if you
Oh
get
yeah,
hit.
you're getting some restitution
Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. I did not get anything when I reported the crime, but now it actually says that you will get that. So that's a
And as the
positive things.
and law enforcement has become much more conscious of this now, and
Yeah.
they're not so quick to dismiss some other person that's been a victim of this kind of a situation.
Yeah,
Or
they
oh,
know they know even more now. I had my talks with the police as well, uh, and now I feel like it's much better. It's a lot of great people in both cybersec now and in the police. It's much better, but it's not perfect, and it has to be even better. I'm not satisfied. There's still some people out there that actually like tells the victims, no, you cannot report that because it was your fault. We do have some of those old guys that works in the police that actually just make victims turn away, and who actually
Yeah.
victim shames the victims. And the fun thing is, when I started doing my talks, it was really successful. Everyone was booking me, and I was traveling 100 days a year. But
Oh, I would
then,
imagine 300 lectures, TED Talks, TV appearances.
yeah.
When do you get to actually practice cyber? But I'm sorry, complete your thought.
In school. So it was really fun because the police started asking me questions and wanting to learn from me. So I actually had a talk at the law school and stuff and the police academy. So that was really positive. And then they just arrived with their own talk. Um, Called it's not really a translation for it, but it's their own theme about pictures and image abuse. They were like copying um, my kind of presentations, and they were actually taking notes at my talks. I of course let them, but then they copied like my whole talk, and then started traveling all over Norway with their own talk with the same things. So, but that's I like that they kind of did it, and people
well,
still liked my talks better. So I don't
well,
mind.
there's a saying in English: flattery. You know, copying mimicry is the greatest form of flattery. So,
Yeah, but it was
yeah,
positive because people seemed to respect the law and the uniforms, of course. And then they actually made internet patrols.
okay.
They actually have like a Facebook account and an Instagram account that people can ask questions to. And that was one of the things that I thought was missing, because I did see in other countries that they had those kind of things. So now they have that, and it's getting better, but they need to learn more. I'm not
Now, what?
satisfied.
Now, did you go after a lot of these online sites that are posting these images, right, and have
Yeah.
very little accountability? What was that experience like? Did you get any kind of a positive reaction from them, or were they completely indifferent?
They started out actually just telling me to stay back. Like, this is the work for the police, and we don't think that Mia should do this kind of things. So they were really negative in the start, in the beginning. But then they kind of chilled more. I started actually winning prizes and awards for my work, and did some big headlines and helping the police with their cases. Like, they were. Um, if they would say to the newspapers, yeah, we catch this predator, but they didn't mention like, yeah, Mia gave us this this predator. So they would actually like steal my glory in cases. But then they started cooperating. They knew that I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping to discuss things with them. I will not stop telling them what's wrong and what's right. And people started to acknowledge that, and they had the same feelings like me, and they cannot stop the feelings of a whole nation. So they started saying Mia does a really good job, and we applaud her.
What a change of tone.
Yes, it took like 3 years, but they invite me for stuff now. They want me to work there. So it's a really positive thing now. They have some more work to do. Some employees in this internet patrols are not nice people. So some of them really don't like me, but I get that. It must be hard to have a blonde 24-year-old tell you how to do your job. I get that, but yeah, it's much more
Well,
positive now, and that's why I keep doing this, because I do see that there is a change. Also, I finished my studies last year in June, and I got a job at Orange Cyber Defense as a pen tester, penetration tester slash ethical hacker. And my what really also helped me when people was like threatening me and stuff is that my employer has my back. They believe in me. They let me do my work. They let me speak. They will not silence me. That's why I'm not working in the police, because they will silence me. they will not let me talk. So I'm so happy that I'm in a good place, and even though I still get a lot of threats and hate, I'm getting used to it, and I'm just really happy to help and to be nominated to the Cybersecurity Woman of the Year as well. Was just amazing. I didn't win the prize, but it made me connect with a lot of cool people. Like my LinkedIn is like so full of amazing things. Like LinkedIn
Oh
got
yeah.
more interesting than Facebook. So I got to connect with so many great and cool people. So I hope to do more work internationally. I know there's still some states in the US where it's not illegal to spread people's
Yes.
photos. And also, you mentioned like children, my work with children. Like, my main thing is not just helping people that are a victim of image abuse, but also children with grooming and yeah, child sexually child abuse online. I work a lot in those cases too,
Now,
and
have the laws made it harder for you as a cybersecurity practitioner to go and find this information out there?
well,
Has
yeah, there are rules. You know, I there's privacy rules. It's GDPR. It's a lot of rules that you need to watch out for, and of course, you cannot save pictures of children, even though your intentions are great. You really have to be in this gray zone. Um, because, of course, if I do find something, I will send it directly to the police. So if
okay?
you do that, then it's okay. Because I work a lot with really horrible cases with children online, and I work on finding Norwegian victims. I actually did place pedophiles in jail. That's also why I'm getting death threats, because I ruined their lives.
Well, good to hell with them.
Yeah,
That's all I can
I
say.
totally agree. I hope they get the help that they need. Um, but I work with these tough things. I don't recommend people to do it. You really need a tough head. It's horrible to watch. And you need like, I'm trying to find Norwegian victims, but you will see a lot of people or children being in pain, and that's the worst part of it, actually. Or the worst part is seeing like grown ups that do this kind of things, and then they will go home to their wives or their husband and live normally with their kids. So I'm working a lot with that kind of stuff and to catch these predators that lives, especially lives in Norway. Um, and the laws, of course, like, I am not, like, you have seen these TV shows where they catch
Yeah,
groomers and stuff. I
yeah.
don't do that kind of things. I do not post anyone on my Instagram or something. I do not post the predators or people. I'm following the laws. I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to, not using tools. You know, I could easily find more IP addresses or find out where people live or their names, but the law stops me to do so. So I can only find IP addresses in like a legal way. Um, yeah, and sometimes people, like, when they hear that I work as a hacker, they think that I do a lot of illegal stuff. But when you are an ethical hacker, you do have great
Yeah, you're
respects
bound.
of the laws.
Yeah, we had, in fact, we had an instance today, right before the show, where there was a client that wanted us to try and test various aspects of their environment, and it would have absolutely gotten us in trouble had we done that. There's
Yeah,
rules here that you cannot go just because we know something's broken, we can't go exploit that vulnerability.
yeah,
And there, to a degree, it's a handicap too. There's no exception under the law for us to actually go and help someone in
yeah.
that regard. There,
We
and
we
so
do
that
like
way, the
have
law is
laws.
outdated.
We do kind of have laws, like if someone's in danger or life danger, you are allowed to, like, let's say you're lost on a mountain and you found a cabin, you're freezing, you have no food or water, and you break into the cabin to save your life, then you will not get criminal charges pushed against you. But I'm also like playing a little bit with that, because if you do see a child being raped, um,
Oh
that's the
my.
danger. That's a danger, and that should, by law, allow me to use tools to find out who this person is. And they keep saying that the physical rules, they are the same as online, and I tell them, yeah, but then why can I not use this tool to save this child? Oh yeah, because
Right.
that's an illegal tool, because they have privacy too. And I'm like, yeah, but what about these laws? You do say that the physical laws are the same on the internet, so why is that this not the same? So I'm trying to figure out more about this, because like if I was to see a live stream of a child being raped, I would use whatever I could do to find out where this child is.
Wow.
um
I absolutely agree with you.
yeah. And
And
if the laws want to punish me for that, then so be it. I haven't done anything of that, because it's not really common that you will find like a live stream of a child from your hometown like being raped. Um, Most of it are already recorded stuff, so it's not the danger there. It might be an old video, so I'm trying to figure out those rules and what can we actually do, because the laws are a bit outdated. Um, I think they need to get a renewal. Like they need to
yes,
be
they do.
reviewed, because it's a lot of new tools. Sometimes they will say we do not allow programs that does this and this. Okay, but what if it's not a program? Can I then do that? So we really need to figure out those things. But I am completely bound by the law, and I will continue to follow them until I see something like murder or child rape on live.
That
Then
see
I'll
that I hope you never see that. To that
no, me neither. I hope that I don't see that, but if I do, then I might like go a walk in my head and be like, okay, I am able to do this, but it's a bit sketchy. It might be in a really gray zone. It might cost me my job. So I don't know before I'm in that situation. I've been in some really tough situations and not breaking the law. So it would take a lot, and I don't think I would be punished for it either. Um, I don't think they would. So yeah, but it's really interesting. It's an interesting theme and stuff to talk about, because I think the laws are, especially here in Norway, they are so old. So people don't
all over the
know.
world, all over the world,
Yeah, people
and
don't
you know,
know
and we see,
anything.
and Mia, to take a little sidestep here, we see the same thing with compliance. We look at
Yeah,
compliance standards; they're antiquated. They are a static position in time, and they do not provide the protections. It's a
yeah,
standard. It's like a minimum standard that
yeah.
you could apply, but in terms of actually making a difference in cyber, uh, they're not able to keep up. And the same thing goes on with laws. The the system was not set up to deal with a rapidly changing
Yeah,
environment. And
yeah,
I hope your generation, when you guys get into power and are making the laws,
yeah,
will be able to make significant changes to that.
yeah. And I started taking like the political steps. I have never like been politically active, but recently I joined the Labour Party here in Norway, which is the most popular one here actually. Um, and recently just joined, and I'm going to like look into their plans for the IT security parts and try to work with them, because there's an election now this year, and I really want to find, yeah, like the Labour Party who actually cares about security in school. We actually have security in school now. I'm in those books, actually, the children's books. It's really cool. Like when they update those school books, then suddenly I'm in it. It's
That's
really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that's why I want to get more politically active with the Labour Party, and try to change this not just alone, because I have this bad thing that I want to take everything on my shoulders. I will take everyone's pain on my shoulders, even though I could have a shitty day myself. I will take all of these things, but I need to trust others sometimes too, and get help, to not be alone in my feelings and what I mean and what I fight for. They share the same things, and feelings like I do. So to have not just me in front, but also like a group of people, that will allow me to talk about this stuff and that agree with me, that means that we can change more laws, that we can actually do more things, and I do not have to do all of this alone. And that's also like what I want to tell people, like, if you're a victim of whatever, you really have to become a fighter. It doesn't just go away. You really have to cry. You do need to break down. You do need to find a new purpose of your life when you lost all the purpose. Like, I had the sports and stuff, but it didn't mean anything, especially not after I hurt my knee. Nothing meant anything. I could just die. I had that kind of feeling. But then I found something new that I really wanted to do, and that had big meaning for me, and for everyone else too. Like, to get messages from victims saying like, Mia, I was gonna kill myself and I want to thank you for saving my life. Like, that's heartbreaking. And I wish that I wasn't the one who spoke to them. I wish that the police was helping them removing those pictures, and that we had like a crisis team to come and talk to the victims. Like, if you were raped, you would get to like a crisis center. You would get help. Someone would come and talk to you, take tests, and I want that to be like for internet abuse and sexual abuse online too. I want it to be the same as they say it's supposed to be. I want people to get help and to feel that someone is listening to them and understanding them. People are not like some people say, yeah, but just don't send those images and the problem will stop. Because no, it will not stop, because people will take those pictures of you anyway if they want them, in the changing room, in your own bedroom. Like, people are so desperate for these photos, it will not help if people stop sending them. And sending a photo of your boobs to your boyfriend is not a crime, but for this boyfriend to screenshot it and post it on Pornhub, that's a crime. We need
Yeah.
to lay the, like, we really need to stop blaming the victims and start talking about these assholes, both male and female assholes, that is spreading those photos. That's
You
the
know,
illegal part.
Mia, every cause needs a champion. And we're grateful that you've taken up a very noble cause and have become that champion. A lot of things law enforcement should do, or government should do, or other things should work a different way, but that's not the world we live in.
Yeah,
Um, and
but I'm not
and it
satisfied by
requires people,
that.
and it requires people like you to get up and stand up and really go after a cause, and this case a very noble one.
Mm,
One thing that you said, and I'd like you to illuminate it a little bit, that we had discussed previously, is that how easy it is to propagate child pornography. It's
mm,
it's very mainstream. It's not like dark web. This is happening out in the open.
yeah,
Could you educate our audience a little bit about how out in the open this actually is? It's not
yeah.
a problem that's relegated to a small section of the dark web.
Yeah, so everyone keeps hearing about the dark web, or all of the things. Like, I usually never go there because you don't have to anymore. You do not need to know about the dark web to go there anymore. Everyone can go there. Most of the pedophiles that I catch, they are not cyber professionals. They can't even upload a picture on Facebook, some of them. But the fun part is, or not funny really, but these pictures are everywhere, like on open pages, forums, Reddit, 4chan, it's full of it. And Pornhub has been in trouble this past year for having videos where children are being raped. These porn pages have a lot of videos and photos that they are not supposed to have, and people are taking legal action now. Pornhub has removed a lot of them, so that's really good. But also, we have WhatsApp and Telegram. Those are like the
Really,
worst channels for child
really, WhatsApp?
pornography. Yeah, on Telegram is where I'm mostly at. You can program bots to do so kind of things to send out web addresses, pictures, videos. It's supposed to be like a fun and good thing, for a group of people, and you need an invite to be invited to that chat. So what these people do is we have something called New Saga. That's like a group
Okay.
of pedophiles. That means that this is a new saga for the world. This is a new world where children are supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriends with grown-ups, and how this is all natural. They have for many years now, have had several Telegram chats where thousands of people all over the world keeps getting invitations, and there's like a dude calling himself master and stuff, and you need to prove that you are a predator to get into these groups. And they will program
You have to
bots.
prove
Yeah,
that you're a predator.
yeah, you
All
have
right.
to spread
Okay.
photos.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to show that you are not like the police and stuff. Um, so I have several users like everywhere on Telegram, so I do not need to send pictures like that because I'm already in. I have like an alias that they know about this master and people, so I always get an invitation anyway. So these groups are they keep adding like Telegram bots, which will make everyone like usually in a group chat you can see people's phone number and names and stuff or usernames, but now they made a bot that will just you can send a picture and they will make you a nickname and you cannot know who sent that. So a
So
day
it's truly anonymous.
yeah, it's truly yeah, you cannot figure out who anyone is. Not no honeypots, no IP grabbers, no nothing. You cannot do anything because you cannot click anything, and everything of like IP grabbers or honeypots will get banned like automatically. They have programmed some stuff, so you cannot post things like that. You can only post pictures of children, and in these groups, they always get reported, of course. So they keep getting deleted and then coming back up, and then you need all these contacts to get in. But it's so easy to be a member there, and I see a lot of Norwegian there, like people with children. That's where the one guy was sent to jail. I found him in these kind of groups, and also like Telegram makes it easy for child predators to spread their shit. Like I keep reporting everyone and they just make new profiles, new phone numbers. It's so easy. And this new group that has this new bot have been up for 4 months now. You cannot,
Wow.
it doesn't help to report it because they have made something that will never end. It's so sick. Like they are posting over 1,000 pictures and videos a day, the same ones that are on the dark web. And the thing is, they don't have to save it on their phones anymore because it's just there in the chat. So they give each other advice about how not getting caught.
And they're doing this all through bots, which are untraceable.
Well, as far as I know now, I want to look more into those bots and see who is building them. Because these are really technical stuff. Like this has to be an IT professional. A lot of this
So
is
and
IT
yet,
professionals.
and you were saying that most of these people who are operating in this arena are not. They don't even know how to upload a Facebook picture.
Yeah,
So,
but the ones
so
like having these groups and making these group chats, they are very technical people. They've been doing this for years without getting caught, and they are like having the biggest groups in the world.
so now,
Uh,
is it more than child porn? Then are these people using the same technology for other criminal activity online?
Well, some of them are for sure. Like they are also trading pictures online. But this new saga, like you can see this like as cults or like groups. Some will do this to earn money. Some does this because they really believe. They have this belief, like religion, that children should be with grown-ups. So it's all free. Everyone can join. No one has to pay for anything. It's just like a group of people sharing everything and sharing their feelings and emotions towards children. And then you have the other groups. Usually they do some stuff with drugs, or they actually sell children. Um,
Oh,
and stuff like that. And sometimes they get caught. Sometimes they do. We do see cases where they are, but it's getting so technical. It's so hard for the police. Like the police was shocked when I told them about this kind of groups, and they're like, "Can you fix an invitation for us? I've never heard about this." And that's kind of sad that they didn't hear about this. I heard
well,
about it.
the police aren't. Most police departments don't have that kind of talent,
Yeah.
right? Here in the United States, we know the FBI does. They have professionals
Yeah, and
who
we have also
have this.
kind of the FBI here, but they were also shocked.
Really?
Yeah, some of them were. I didn't talk to like the higher up technical people. They probably know, but when their boss don't know this and they are not given tasks that involve solving this, then it's just there. No one is doing anything about it. We really should have highly technical skilled people to bring down all these pages and forums and groups. We actually should just collect a lot of cool heads, technical hackers, and just figure out who is these people, because they are driving people to rape children. Like
Now,
the
see,
1 to 2% of the whole world actually does have feelings for children, sexually feelings for children, but most of them will never do anything, but they still have this romantically or sexually feelings towards children. It's around 2-3% of the whole world.
really,
Yeah, 1 to 2% of all males have like sexual feelings for children, but most of them lives normal lives and they just feel something. Okay, they don't do anything about it. But then imagine being curious and joining one of these groups and seeing all of these videos. Um, and I really want to be honest with you, because most of these videos and pictures of children, the children are having fun. It's not blood, it's not cries. They are actually in love with these grown-ups. A lot of they are actually having a good time. They don't know that this is abuse. And that's the worst part of it, actually, grown-ups teaching them that this is a good thing. And when these people that never have done anything or never maybe plan to do anything but are just curious, when they watch these things and they start reading the text and the forums where they say that this is natural, this is why girls are getting their periods when they're 12, then they get this kind of feelings that, wow, I should really try this, or I should join this, and then these feelings just keep growing.
so you think these things they become a catalyst by which someone who would have done nothing
Yeah,
actually then acts on their.
100% sure. Like I've been talking to pedophiles. I've been seeing a lot of them and chatting with them with fake profiles where they have children themselves, and they were like, I only want to see these pictures. I would never do anything to my child. And then after 4 months, he kept telling me how he wanted to rape his daughter with his ex-girlfriend. So they change over time. Uh, and he's in jail now, so it's no danger there. I'm really proud of that. I figured out who he was. Um, but I these kind of things, they're so damaging. Like it's so scary because they get into people's head, and people are really struggling because a lot of the people that feel sexual feelings to children, they do not want these feelings. Like they don't want this, they want it to end. They really want help. And now we do have some help centers here in Norway that you can contact if you are feeling this kind of things. So I'm really like careful when I speak in the media about pedophiles because they do have a problem. um, a lot of them doesn't want to have these feelings and they need help, and then we also have to make them go and get the help and say like, I have a problem and I really need help, I really need to be stopped. Like, that's so brave. People say like, I want pedophiles to rotten in hell, I want them to die, and like, yeah, the things they do is horrible, but we also have to help them out to stop feeling this kind of things, and we need to stop, and we really need to take action against these pages and these groups and these cults and people like talking about children and grown-ups together as it was natural, because it's not. They are
And
brainwashing people.
well, Mia, you have hit this problem at all the angles, and we're already at the hour.
Yeah.
So I want to take the last 2 minutes and give you a chance. Is there any groups or events that you're doing or things that you want to plug? This show will air on August 19th. So is there any things you want to let the listeners know about? And I'll make sure that those get put in the show notes and we let everybody know.
so so I don't really have any big plans. It's Corona. I
Oh,
don't get to travel as much, but I'm doing some talks. Um, and I really want to get in touch with people that can give me a place to talk more internationally, because I've
how do
been.
they reach out to you?
Oh yeah, they can reach out to my email. We can post my email.
Okay.
And also I have social media profiles and my LinkedIn profile. I usually answer on LinkedIn, and I do have a Facebook page called Mia Landsem Security, and I also have an Instagram. So I'm reachable everywhere. I really want people to connect with me and let me know if there's anything they can help with, or if there's somewhere I can talk, because I really want to talk more everywhere in the world. Now, if it's not traveling, then I would like to do like on Teams or Zoom or whatever. I really
I'll
just
tell
want to
you what,
reach out.
next year, hopefully, when we're doing more events in person, it'd be great to have you as a guest speaker at one of the events.
Yeah, I
Hopefully,
really
you'll be
would love
allowed
that.
to travel
Yeah, I
then.
will be allowed. I really just want to speak up, and also I really want to inspire women to study IT and to follow their dreams and just to be brave. Really, my tattoo on my neck says "brave" in Norwegian, and I remind myself of that every day. And then I have this on this side here. It means "don't give a fuck" or "fuck off." It depends on
That's to
what
the point.
situation. Yeah, but you do have to not give a fuck, and you do need to be brave, because especially for women, you're gonna get a lot of hate, and it shouldn't stop anyone. I will not be stopped. I will not give up. I don't give a fuck. I've been through hell. What more can they do? The only thing
and
left
you,
is killing me, and I hope that doesn't happen.
no, we don't want that. And
No.
and Mia, we are grateful that you have taken up this cause. Although there were some very horrible things that happened to you that led to it.
Yeah, I'm
But
happy
like I said,
it's happened to me, and that I used it to help other people. Even though I wish it didn't happen, then I'm kind of glad that it happened, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be here today. I'm happy to have that experience, and I'm happy to help others.
well, thank you, Mia, for spending time with us today. And we'll look forward to hopefully maybe next year seeing you in person.
I hope so. I would love that.
Okay, take care.
Thank you. Bye.